we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion.
Combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado. This is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
Well, hey, now we are back at you with another great conversation here on Discussion Combustion coming out of Colorado. Tonight we do have Tammy back in the building, aka Spirit Forest. We're excited to chat with her. But of course, you know, we got to give it up for our sponsors. So why don't you guys go ahead and head over to WOAMEET.com. That's Wild Outdoor Adventures for all of your outdoor exciting needs. I mean, this is a place where you can join for free, see activities at no charge, and also talk to people, you know, and create blogs and questionnaires to figure out what you want to do outside.
Oh, it's a terrific website. It's free and easy to use. That's the best part. It's connecting people, and I'm going to tell you this. Once you're done binge watching some Spirit Force videos on YouTube, you're going to want to get outdoors. And Wild Outdoor Adventures is a great way to do that. Free and easy to use website, social media platforms across the board. Sign up, create a blog, meet other people. That's what it's about. You just moved to Colorado, you're like, man, I want to hit the trails. We all know COVID's been an issue, but when the dust settles, you know, and the smoke clears, the outdoors are going to be there.
They are going to be there, and great memories to make, new friends to make as well. It's a Colorado company, so this is not nationwide. So if you are planning on coming into this state, you know, go ahead and go to that website and so you can see what's happening. Maybe plan out your trip a little bit. Or if you're from the state, like me, I'm a native, and I don't know half of these places where these people go. So I could even still use some advice on what's the best trail, difficulty level, things of that nature. It's all done in the beginning, and that way you are prepared for the trek ahead.
Oh, yeah. They make it real easy. You know, they get the blog on there. People can talk about, hey, man, I've hit this trail. I've hit that trail. Here's some pictures of it. Here's the elevation change. You know, giving people a little bit of an idea of what it looks like before they go out. You can post videos over there of your hikes. It's just a lot of fun, man. We love what Wild Outdoor Adventures does, and that's less streaming and more exploring. And Discussion Combustion is also brought to you by Mountain Made CBD. Head on over to mountainmade.life to stock up on all of your crystal clear CBD needs.
Now, Mountain Made is they have a national reach. They are based out of Colorado, but if you're a dispensary out there and you would like CBD on your shelves, they're regulated with all the new regulations. So they're good to go, and they have a great product line. They actually have some new stuff coming out that we don't have on the table now. Dog-friendly CBD, another recovery product with chamomile instead of magnolia. They have a vitamin-based...
the Combat.
Yeah, the Combat.
Yeah, a lot of new products coming out, man. They're you know, tweaking their products a little bit. They've taken your guys' advice. You know, a lot of people say they were getting really, really vivid dreams from the Recover with the magnolia. So now they're going to offer it with chamomile instead. It's my personal favorite product. Helps me get a little bit of rest. And now the Combat's coming out. It's going to build your immune system. You know, it's packed with the vitamins, the nutrients, the CBD that you need to succeed. And that's that hashtag go like hell mentality.
Go like hell, baby.
Now let's jump into this thing, man. This is episode 78. We're super excited. It's been a year since we've had Tammy in the building. Spirit Forest, you guys know her. Welcome back, Tammy.
Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun last time, so
yeah,
might as well go for a round two.
Round two, and
Yes.
now we're on YouTube now. So
yeah.
So that's fun too. Hopefully, you know, your loyal listeners, because I'll say this: you have some of the best fans and listeners and subscribers that I've seen in the business.
Yeah.
I mean, your people, they're loyal. They
Yeah.
show up for your videos. They love you on social media, and that's terrific.
Yeah, and they show up to events too.
Yeah.
You know, they'll come out to events, and you know, they really inspire me, and that's really what it's about. You know? So.
Yeah,
awesome.
it's you know, when you have a community that's behind you, because I mean, do you feel like when you create your content, obviously you do it for you because you love it. Spirit Forest is terrific. But you know, when you're creating content and you're putting it out there, your listeners and do they keep you kind of motivated? I know you touched on that in your Q&A last night, as far as constantly putting out stuff for these guys to, you know, they're eager. Like, oh, I'm chomping at the bit. Where's that new Spirit Forest video?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
that helps.
Oh, it does, and it it motivates me because you know, a lot of times I'm like, I don't feel like hiking, I don't feel like camping, but then I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it for my fans, and so I go out there. Like I've said in my last video too, usually I camp about 60 to 70 days a year, and that is because I opened up this YouTube channel. You know, before that, I was probably camping like, I don't know, 20 days a year, 20, 30 days a year, which is probably more than the average person.
It's more than me. Yeah, like I'll
more than I
usually
camp.
go like a weekend maybe.
Yeah.
You know, once a year probably, maybe.
Yeah.
That's about where I'm at.
So it's like once every 2 years, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just tough to find the time, you know, when it's the hustle and grind down here in the city life, you know, to get up. But every time I do, I always feel so great,
Yeah.
so refreshed. I don't take it for granted. I love hoofing it up there and doing some backpacking and getting out there. It really resets the mind, and just sets the mind, body, and soul. And I think what's really cool about your channel and what you do is a lot of people that maybe aren't able to do these things and get outdoors can live vicariously through you, and that's terrific.
Yeah, and I do try to take people along, and I will be doing that even more in the future too. Is I will be going camp or hiking, and I'll just bring my camera with me and be like, check this out, And in fact, I think the beginning of this year, I said, hey, if you see a mountain lion behind me, can you let me know?
Well, did you see that one video of the hiker where he was? I know we talked about.
Did you see
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That one's been sent to me.
Oh, it's crazy.
Multiple times.
Jeez.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
That gave me chills watching that.
Yeah, that's the one animal I'm scared of out
Mountain
there.
lion?
Is the mountain lion. Yeah. All the other animals, I'm like, I feel okay, But the
Rattlers?
mountain lion, you just don't know when they're there,
Yeah,
Like,
they're
sneak
sneaky.
They're sneaky. They sneak up on you. Like, there's times where it's like, the hair in your back that sticks up, and you're like, I'm like, I know something's here.
Something's watching
They're
me.
prowling
Yeah.
for sure. Now, I don't know. I remember if we asked you this last year, but have you seen? Obviously, maybe not mountain lions, but any wildlife, maybe some bears on your property, probably some scat, I would imagine.
Yeah, on my property or just hiking and stuff.
I guess both.
Well, this year I had a bear at the property.
Oh, wow.
So,
Black bear?
yeah, that's all we have up here is black bear. But they in my area they look like they're cinnamon in color, and they're really big. Like they don't look like a regular black bear. Like I've seen some other black bears when I'm hiking, and they're a little smaller. These are huge over in where my property is, the cinnamon colored bears. And I had a rat problem on my property. And so I put out traps, and of course in the traps I had like peanut butter and stuff like that. So of course the bear smelt it, and I knew it when I was putting it down that the bear would smell it, because it's always my luck that I'm gonna get a bear. So a bear came to my property. I have a little gear bin that I keep some gear in, like sleeping pads and stuff like that. And the bear knocked over the gear bin, and then I do have another bear bin where I keep all my food in, so the bear can't open it. And he was trying. You could tell.
Was there like scratches
Oh
on
yeah,
there?
scratches all over. The cool part for me, it's kind of cool because I was like, there's bear marks on all my stuff, because it was a muddy day.
Yeah.
So everything has like these, because my logo is a paw print.
Right.
And so it has all these like bear paw
Photo
prints on it.
opportunity.
Oh yeah, I
Where
thought
you're
it
like
was
taking
cool.
pictures of all your stuff. You're like,
yeah.
I'm gonna print this on there.
Were you at your property at that time when it happened?
No,
So you showed
no.
up and you saw the
Yeah, it
evidence
was.
of it.
I was there 3 days prior, I think.
Okay.
And so I just missed the bear, but I know that there's probably been bear up there. They just, they get scared easy.
Yeah, they are.
The black bear
They're skittish.
They get scared easy. So and then I got a big Rottweiler too. So
Rocky.
Rocky. I don't know. I think he'd scare a bear. I think he'd be scared, but I think
He would stand his ground.
Oh yeah, he would. Like I know that about him.
That's always a good feeling when you're up there. Having your furry friend there with you. He's got your back. He can
Yeah.
probably sniff things well before you're going to see what's going on.
Yeah,
He's going to alert you. We got a situation.
Yeah.
So-
He's the one that finds the rats for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does he attack them, or does he just kind of sniff them out?
He'll sniff them out. I've shot a couple of them.
Shot the rats?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a 22 or like a BB gun or
Like a
something.
BB gun kind
Okay.
of thing. Yeah. I don't feel like
They
I don't,
blow it up with a magnum. Goodbye.
yeah, the pack rats are really bad up there in the mountains, and so like if you have an RV or anything like that, I didn't have any problems before. This is the first year I had problems with the rats, and yeah, they destroyed my tent, just destroyed it. So yeah, I got a BB gun and took care of that.
That's good.
So I was doing researching on rooftop tents. Because I think those are. Have you ever
on
used
top
one
of
of
a
those?
car,
Or
you're talking
yeah, where
about.
like it folds out
Yeah.
and like the ladder comes down.
Yeah.
Have you ever?
I have friends that have it. I'm a ground sleep. I don't really.
Okay.
I mean, to me, it's a lot of work.
Well,
They
yeah,
cost-
and then you
I
got to be able
looked
to
at one.
drive
They
in there
cost
too.
a lot of money too.
Do they?
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
$1,200.
And so what's the point of that? To get
For
you up,
cheaper ones.
you get you up off the ground from the critters and things like that. That's the
Yeah.
point of it.
Well, I
Well,
don't know.
when
I
it's-
guess it just depends on the person, because I think some people say it's easier to set up. To me, I'm like, I can set up a tent because I time myself. I can set up a tent in like 4 minutes. It's not a big deal, But yeah, some people say it's easier. Some people just feel safer above the car.
But then you're limited too, because then you're sleeping where the car can go.
Right.
So then you can't go hike up in there and set up a really cool camp. That's the only thing. Because I was looking into those and I was thinking like, well, you have to be able to park next to the road or somewhere where you can drive And then I guess you just get some rocks to like level out the ground, so it's not tipsy turning.
That's a good
Right.
point, because a lot of times my car's not. I actually car camped this year. First time on my property. I normally don't car camp at all. Actually, camping in my car is what I mean by that. I'm usually in a tent. And it was the first time in a long time I've been scared.
Really?
Because I'm used to a tent. I can usually hear the animals around me. I know how big the animal is, if I need to be worried. In a car, I can't tell if there's an animal because there's no noise. The windows were rolled up. I did a video on that. I was like, you guys, I'm really scared, because I had the lights on in the car and it was all reflecting in. I couldn't see out, I mean, I was like, I think I need to set up my tent. I feel better outside the car. It was really funny. I didn't think I'd be like that.
That is
but
funny.
I mean, that makes sense. You're a little bit more in touch in your canvas tent with hearing what's going on,
Yeah.
smelling the smells, feeling the energy change.
Like I hear like when the big animal comes by my tent, and when I was in my car I didn't hear it. So what I did is I ended up rolling down the windows. So that way it
that would
was
help.
cold. It was like 30 something that night.
Well, that's
but
chilly.
It's chilly. Yeah, it's
Do-
chilly. But
do
I got the right
tents-
gear.
Do tents hold in like insulate? Do they insulate well? Tents?
It depends on the tent, right?
Well, maybe a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not too much. But it's all about the gear you have, and I have
That's true.
I have like a 0-degree bag, and I'm good.
Yeah.
I've been training myself. The reason why I can do 70 nights camping is because I've trained myself to be able to camp in the wintertime. And that's hard.
Oh, yeah.
I've never done that.
I've seen your videos of that winter
sounds
camping.
rough.
That stuff looks pretty brutal.
Yeah,
I don't think I could do
that's
it,
a
Tammy.
challenge. There's times where I don't sleep at night.
I couldn't
then
do
I
it.
wonder, like, why am I doing this?
Well, I mean, you obviously enjoy the thrill and getting outdoors and doing all that stuff. I don't think I could do the winter camping.
Yeah,
the
winter
The
camping's
cold
tough.
is. I have a problem with. I get angry when I'm scraping my windshield in the morning to go to work.
Yeah.
Thinking about sleeping outdoors and that. I don't think I'd be in the best of mood. I mean, a little bit of whiskey might help, but it's only a temporary solution.
The sounds are different in the wintertime. That's what I've noticed too. It's like this peaceful, like, I don't know. I want to think a hum. It's like just it's a totally different feel. It's a different smell. It's, so it's something to experience, if you know somebody that does it. Now I have like heat pads all over and stuff, those little hand warmers. I
Yeah.
put them all in my sleeping bag. I have subscribers that are great that they'll give me a whole box of those hand warmers.
Oh, that's
You
nice.
know what I mean? So my pack is full of them,
They're like, Tammy, we haven't seen you doing enough winter camping,
Yeah.
so here's a
Here's
little
some gear to
initiative.
do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they motivate me. They motivate
Yeah.
me to do it. But the thing is, in Colorado, a lot of times you can't have a fire.
Right.
So that's
Even during the wintertime?
Yeah. And it depends on where you're going, because it depends on different
Yeah.
areas. I was in Jeffco last year. I hiked, and you couldn't have a fire there. But that's what's different about my channel. A lot of people that winter camp, they usually have a fire going at the same time.
Sure.
So my channel's a little bit different because it'll be 5 degrees outside, and I
You
don't
have no
have
fire.
a fire.
Yeah,
So
see,
a lot of people want to
would
know
go
what
with
I'm
that.
doing.
Yeah.
I'm doing squats. Like literally, I'm doing.
It's almost like a survival
Yeah.
situation at
Oh,
that
it
point.
is. It is. And for some, I don't know. Maybe I'm a adrenaline junkie in that way or something. I don't know. I do it by myself because I can't convince anybody else to do it with me.
Yeah. I admire that.
funny.
Now, do you carry any sort of weapons with you when you're doing, you said you carry a BB gun, obviously, or at least
Yeah.
at your property.
Well, that's at
but
that's for the rats.
That's for the rats. But when you're out there, how do you defend yourself if something were to come
Well,
about?
I do carry some weapons. I don't mention it so much on my channel, but I
Fair
do have
enough.
a gun, and I do have I have bear spray, and I have knives.
Okay.
Knives is kind of my thing. I have over like 60 like bushcraft kind of knives, some fancy knives and stuff like that. So
You're well defended.
I'm well defended.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
So
That
I
was
think
my
one of
question
the
with it.
things that I'd like to do, going forward, once this whole COVID thing's done, is get some training on just, combat. I think that would be kind of
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
With my girls. I got 2 daughters.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would be
So
fun.
like we all do it together. I think that would be really cool. Just,
It's
how do you
super
protect
beneficial.
yourself?
I mean, even if you just did like a month course,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
it'd still just help you. Like, I did Muay Thai kickboxing for like 2 or 3 weeks, like not that long, but like it forever changed like how I would interact in a situation if it ever came up. So I would definitely do that. But I had a question. So let's say that you're in a survival situation. It's just you summer camping, like summertime,
Okay.
not winter. Would you rather only have a knife or only have a lighter?
I'd only have a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, and again, I don't know what the weather is at that point too. I mean, if it's raining, you probably can't really make a fire too much, but with a knife, I can make a fire. You
Yeah.
know, so I know how to, rub sticks together and make a fire and stuff like that. So I don't teach that as much in my classes, because it takes a while. It takes a while to hone that skill. But with
Yeah.
a knife, you're able to, and a shoelace,
Oh, yeah,
I need some sort of,
that
hand drill.
GG.
yeah, I do a hand drill. Yeah.
Really? How long
Yeah.
does it take to get a fire going? I've never had the patience to, let alone try it, but I'm not a patient person unless I'm in that situation where I'd have to do it. How long does it take with a hand drill to get an ember?
Okay. And I'm just speaking as a woman. It takes longer for a woman to
Does
do
it?
It really does. So
Now,
it's
is that
like,
because
it's
you
one
think-
of the reasons why I don't teach it in my class, because you really have to have that upper body strength to do it. Like I lean my entire body on it, I could teach you to do it, and you probably could do it within 5 to 10 minutes.
Wow.
A woman takes practice.
Okay.
And of course I'm generalizing, you know what I mean? I'm just generalizing on that. It's just, like I've seen a guy do it who's never done it before, and I set him all up and put him in the right position, and he just went to town and got an ember.
In under 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, like less than that.
Wow.
Oh yeah. You really can't do this for that long. Only a few.
It'll take
few
it out of
minutes.
you.
But it takes a while to get everything all set up.
Yeah.
Sure.
And stuff. So
Yeah, I was always curious about that because I watched a lot of survival, programs and stuff, and they always do a lot of cuts. So it's like they start the process,
Yeah.
and then, they kind of jump through it, but you're not really seeing how long does it actually take.
yeah,
you know?
it could take like 2 minutes or so.
Wow.
It
Well, that's
could.
quicker
if
than
you
I
know
thought.
what you're doing. Like
That's it, yeah.
I would probably. I mean, with, like most things in my life, my first attempt is a failure. So like I would have to like give it a couple tries and like learn from. I'm more hands-on learner. That's how I learn. So it would take me a little bit.
Yeah, it would take you a little bit, but if someone could set you up, like if I could just set you up in the right position and say, okay, now go to town, you'd be surprised. You'd be able to do it. Some guys, I've seen them do it with just like it depends on the wood too, because wood is a big deal. What kind of wood you have? But I've seen some guys do it in like 10 strokes. I mean, and I was just like,
There's more than one technique, obviously, to do it. Like you can do it where like you spin it and you get it like that, or like you like.
Well, that's the hand drill,
Yeah.
right? Where you
Move it.
kind of rub it down. That's the hand drill.
well, no, I was
You're
doing
talking about the
bow drill. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Bow drill.
so it kind of runs because I've seen it done. I think like Cody Lundeen, I think is one
Yeah,
of the
That's what I
first
was
guys.
thinking of, but the barefoot guy.
yeah.
He would always be barefoot.
Yeah, Cody Lundeen.
yeah, Cody. Yeah.
He would he'd get
Yeah,
that
he's
thing
the
cranking.
fire master.
Oh yeah, I loved watching Dual Survival. That
I
was a
can't
great
believe
show.
you would walk everywhere barefoot.
Yeah.
He'd
Yeah.
wear
You ever
socks
tried
in the
that?
snow
No,
though.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'll walk barefoot around my property a little bit, and then be like, okay, no, I need some shoes.
That's me. I can't do the barefoot thing. He was a rowdy feller.
Yeah.
But Dual Survival was a good show. I learned a couple things from there.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched it. I kind of liked it how they brought in a guy that was like more military
Yeah,
type,
yeah.
and then they brought in this hippie guy, and they bring them together, and you could see the conflict in them,
Yeah.
but yet they're trying to be cool on camera.
It made for good
That
TV
was
for
a good
sure.
show.
Yeah.
That contrast with, I think it was Dave Canterbury was the first guy
Yeah.
that did it. And I follow some of his stuff too. He's pretty good. And
Yeah.
there was a lot of controversy that came around Discovery Channel with some of the survival shows. People were saying, "Oh, it's fake, it's scripted."
Well-
But here's the thing: it's an entertainment purpose,
Yeah,
right?
that's what it's for.
They're showing skill sets and different things. So what if these guys don't go through the whole process? They're creating entertainment,
Yeah.
and providing education for the viewer.
Yeah, it's
So-
the same thing with Bear Grylls.
Right.
They show Bear. The guy that taught me survival was a guy that taught Bear Grylls survival in California.
Mm-hmm.
So I took my survival class in Northern California, Oregon area, right at the border. And he said that he was actually on the show with Bear Grylls. He wasn't actually on the show, but he was on set.
On set, yeah.
Yeah, and so he was the one showing him the bow drill. You know what I mean? And like what kind of wood to use and stuff. So when he showed it on the show, that he was using the right kind of wood. And it's like they make those. I don't know how, I don't watch him anymore, but they make it look like he's actually doing this, and it took him like 3 days to do it. But no, they're there for like a whole month filming this whole thing. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
lot of
and
different-
he's a great entertainer. I'm not
Bear Grylls?
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
a great entertainer.
Glacier.
I
my
have some
favorite.
of his gear and stuff too. It's to me it didn't matter.
Right.
I was educated by watching his stuff. Not that I'm gonna drink water from was it elephant dung?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what he? That was so
yeah.
nasty.
He pushed the limits with some of that's one thing I'll say about Bear Grylls. He would eat anything.
Yeah.
He drank his
give
own
it a try.
urine.
Yeah.
You know. And then but I remember Cody Lundeen saying he's like, look, he did not support the drinking your urine thing if it's a last, even if it's your last resort.
Yeah.
He's like, don't do it. There's too much saline in it. It's
Yeah.
not worth the risk. But, you know, then you got guys like Bear Grylls saying, you know, it's that psychological advantage because so much of survival is that mental, you know, perspective.
Like I can do this, you know,
Right.
I can
Those-
keep moving.
Those small psychological gains will keep
Mm-hmm.
you know, in the hunt. You know, I watched a little bit of this show called I Shouldn't Be Alive, I think it was. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds like a good one.
Crazy stories where these guys are out in the middle of nowhere, no cell service. You know,
It's more of a
they're doing-
storytelling show. Like,
It
hey,
is.
this happened to somebody, and then they do like a reenactment.
They do a reenactment, but the guy's still telling the real story.
Yeah.
You know, and some of this stuff, it's just amazing what the human body will put itself through
Yeah.
to survive.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I teach my classes to my backpacking classes to women, I teach them like 70, you have 72 hours to get out of the wilderness. What are you going to do? How are you going to get out? And a lot of the women that I'm teaching are brand new. They have never put up a tent even, like they're brand new. And by the time they're done with my class, they're able to get out of the wilderness, you know, in Colorado, because I'm focused on Colorado. They're able to get out in 72 hours, you know, and it's all summer. So it is different survival in the winter than it is in the summer, you know, and so that's why I'm doing a lot of winter campings because I'm trying to figure that out, like building snow caves and stuff like that. I haven't done
that's
that
like a whole
yet. That's
nother
coming.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother challenge doing it during the winter. I mean, because you got to think about like your toes get cold and
Yeah.
like just trying to maintain your core
Body heat,
temperature
yeah.
and then how much energy you're burning to stay warm, and then you know you're more fatigued
Yeah.
doing other things. Like I could just that's crazy.
Well, it seems like
Well-
you burn more calories too in the wintertime. You know,
Yeah.
just your body struggling to stay warm. You know, you're moving around, you're trying to struggle through the snow. You
Yep.
know, obviously we were talking about before we went on air snowshoeing, how difficult that is compared to some of the other activities.
Yeah, and what I did is when I take the women out into the wilderness, I actually get lost, and I say that with quotes, air quotes there. We get lost, and then I tell them, and I know where I'm at, but I was like, okay, where's the trail? Because this is where people get lost in Colorado, and you see it a lot, that people just they go off trail a little bit, they want to take a picture or something, and then they can't find the trail again. So we go off trail a little bit, and I'm showing them some fun, cool
Try to
stuff.
distract them.
Yeah, and then we kind of turn a different way, and I said, okay, where's the trail? And they're like, oh, all of them. The majority of the time, they have no idea, and the trail is 10 feet from us.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't see the trail because it has the grass is
Yeah.
up and stuff like that. You can't see the trail. 10 feet in front of all the ladies were like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yes, this is why it's really important to know exactly where you're at and how you're walking. And, you know, I teach them compass and map, not GPS stuff. You know, I don't believe in electronics. So I'm,
Yeah,
yeah,
I am
it'll
old
fail.
out there.
school, you know, it's
It could
like
fail.
bring a compass with you.
Yeah, the compass
know?
for sure.
Yeah.
So kind of a thought that went through my head with like the winter camping is, you know, you have all the snow, so you could pretty much drink you have water during the winter at least. So like summer camping, like or
As
like
long as you got
survival.
fire, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you still got to boil it down, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
you still got to boil it down.
You
'cause it's-
can't you can't just take a handful of
Well, you can,
would-
but it's cooling down your
Core body
core.
temp.
yeah, true.
So you got to think about that.
Got to heat it up. I mean, at the very least, let it melt. But at the same time, you're still running the risk of, you know, contaminants in the snow, I
Yeah.
suppose. And, you know, anytime you drink water without it
Yeah.
being boiled.
So I did, again, on my channel, because I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of videos. I got like 300 videos or something like that. And on my channel, I melted snow. So I wanted people to see all the stuff that's in the snow. And this looked like white, fluffy snow.
Yeah.
You know, it just recently snowed. And you're right, has all this weird, like, nasty stuff in there, you know, after I boiled it. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, I would drink it if it was boiled, but there's
Yeah.
stuff in snow too.
Sure.
But in a survival situation, hopefully I can get out in 72 hours in the wintertime. You know, wintertime's a little tougher.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you think 3 days is kind of like if it takes longer than 3 days,
You're in trouble.
yeah.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Because isn't 3 days how long you could go 3 days without water, a week without food? Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the problem is that, and you don't realize it, but people walk in circles.
Mm-hmm.
So and I prove it in my class because some people walk in a right circle and some people walk in a left circle. So we kind of pair up and we one person's holding the compass and the other person's just walking, and you'll see in just a short distance they start turning.
And why
Because
is that?
one leg is more dominant
what
than
it
the
is?
other leg, and you start to turn. One girl, she thought she was going straight, and it was like so obvious to all of us, because we're all standing there watching her, and she just goes, "Yoop."
See, I've always
She
heard
would have
that.
been in a circle like within a half hour.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense because I've always heard they're like, oh man, we're walking circles out here, we're lost, like in the movies
Yeah.
and stuff. Oh, we just
And
went
they
in a
do.
huge circle.
And
But
you've seen it.
that
They come
makes
back to
sense
the
why
same
then,
tracks
yeah.
that they left before. Like, how the hell did we end up back here? I've heard that many times in survival. So that's
Yeah,
interesting
it's always
to hear.
about bringing your compass out, pointing it at something, walk to that, bring your compass out, point it.
And make
you
sure you're
don't-
going.
You don't realize, you're like, oh, I'll just kind of go this way, And of course, if it's a big field and it's really open, but a lot of times when people are lost, there's a lot of trees everywhere. You don't really see a lot of like mountains around you or anything like that. You're kind of nestled into the trees.
Easy to get disoriented, I would imagine, without a compass, right? So when people are just trucking through, they're trying to get out of all this forest and, heavy greenery, the dominant foot is what kind of takes them in a circle.
Yeah. I don't
That's
remember which one's like, because I don't remember which, if
me, it'd
you're
probably
right
be right.
dominant or left dominant, like
Maybe
which
if
one you
maybe
turn.
if I'm
but-
right dominant, then I'm going left in the circle because I'm pushing harder with
Maybe.
my right.
And that's throwing your trajectory to the left.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah, I
I've never
should
thought
bring
about
you
that.
guys out to Spirit Forest.
go.
Give you a little class.
I'd be up for it.
love it.
I was a Boy Scout for a little while.
Oh, were
growing
you?
up. Yeah.
That's good stuff. I love learning about the outdoors and just the survival skill set because you never know when you're really going to need it.
No, you never know.
And at the very least, it's skill sets that can be utilized in a lot of different areas in life. Basic stuff. Who knows? We saw what happened with the pandemic and this, a crazy food shortage. To be able to self-sustain and have these skills, to be able to maintain without relying on a grocery store or even electricity for that matter. That's where I want to be, Tammy. I want to learn all the skills I can.
Well, yeah, that's a different kind of skill. That's something that I could probably do, like a little bit of what do they call those people that
Preppers?
Preppers, yes.
doomsday
I'm
preppers?
not a prepper, but it's funny because people say the world's going down. Tim, I'm coming to your house, and I was like, yeah, but I have no food.
So what would you recommend, like hunting? Like, are you trying to fish? Are you trying to catch like
I'm trying to
small
get out.
game? Just
You're just
get
trying-
out,
Don't
yeah.
spend the energy
Escape.
to hunt.
Yeah.
just
Really?
get out. Yeah. Get out.
So your
makes
survival strategy is don't waste time on food. We need to get to
You need to get out.
civilization immediately.
Yeah.
Got
I
it.
mean, you need water.
Of course.
So that's important. So like I teach the ladies like kind of, and it, to me, it's something that I'm so used to. And being in Colorado, and I think you're from Colorado, right? So like you're used to like the water's always at the bottom of the hills. You know what I mean? They're not at the top. But somebody coming from a different state like Texas that's not used to that, doesn't know where the water might be. They may be like, oh, there's probably snow up at the top of there, so I'll go up there for water when the water is down at the bottom. So I kind of teach them that. But really, it's all about just walking in a straight line. If you can walk in a straight line for 3 days in Colorado, most likely, not always,
gonna hit something.
You're going to hit something.
Yeah.
You're going to hit a trail, you're going to hit a house, you're going to hit a road, something,
Keep it in a straight line. Because I know a lot of survival people talk about if you can find a source of water, that's running, like a river, a brook, a creek. Typically, you want to follow that to the southern direction. That'll eventually lead to civilization, right?
Yeah.
But we're a little bit limited on that here in Colorado. I mean, we got the Colorado River that runs on the west side of the Continental Divide. The Arkansas River runs to the east side. Is that an effective strategy here in Colorado if you were to find a river and just kind of follow it out?
Yeah, at that point you're just going downhill.
Yeah.
And if you go downhill, you're going to hit something. Where most people are hiking, you're going to end up hitting something. So, just straight line.
Straight line.
Straight line. Yes, because you will walk in circles.
I want to practice that because I feel like
Stay
I'm going to walk in
cautious.
circles.
Watch your footing. So my dad always taught me, like whenever I was out hiking or something, he's like, make sure that you're, checking your ground 10 feet in front of you. Just make sure that you keep checking that. And coming off of an ankle injury, like I'm more apt to do that now than
Mind
ever.
your footing.
Yeah, because I mean, what if you're out there and then you twist or mess up your ankle so bad that you can't even walk? It makes me like those kind of injuries are scary, like if you're injured out there and you can't move,
That's going to jeopardize your
Yeah.
And going back to that show I was telling you about, the I Shouldn't Be Alive. This guy, he was hiking with his dog and he slipped and fell off a cliff. He took like a 30-foot tumble, landed directly on both of his feet up, snapped both of his ankles, completely shattered them, and he walked 11 miles out of this place. Was shattered. I mean, he crawled.
Okay.
He used trekking poles. He had to swim through. I mean, it was just incredible.
Was his dog with him still?
Dog trucked it all the way with him. You know, he said his dog was probably what kept him alive.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he stayed
Yeah.
in this tent. He stayed in his tent for 7 days because he said he left a note behind. If I'm not back by this date, send help. The help didn't come. So he goes, I'm going to have to walk my way out. You know, and he did. It was just incredible.
Oh, I got to watch that show.
Yeah, it's called I Shouldn't Be Alive. I think it's on Prime maybe, but
Okay.
I mean, I lost a little bit of sleep over it just thinking about it.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
It's like, I have it so easy. These guys are out here struggling.
Yeah,
You know?
I love hearing those stories because I learned so much from it, you know. But it also makes you a little scared to be out in the wilderness too, you know, because I hike alone. I do a lot of stuff alone. So, yeah, so it can make you a little nervous out there being like anything can happen, you know?
Well,
Sure.
I mean, and you can, because the brain is a super powerful thing, right? Like you can manifest your reality. So I feel like it's always good to have confidence, but to be cautious, you know, and not get overly worried about what could happen, because then you might start thinking about it so much that it does happen. It's more like keep those possibilities in the realm of thought, but move confidently through it, you know? Mm-hmm. And so that way you're not psyching yourself out.
Well, I mean, again, so much of it is the psychological game when you're out there, because it's so easy to beat yourself down. I'm stranded. I'm cold. I don't have food. A lot of people give up mentally, right? Just those small psychological, you know, advantages and wins that you get along the way. I've heard so many survival stories that's what it took.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
is all a mental thing. I truly feel that, and it's like you really need to find your peace out there too. There's a lot of women. Again, I talk about my classes a lot because I've learned so much just from the women that have taken my class. I'm learning from them as they're learning from me. Is what are they scared of? They're more scared just to be out in the wilderness in the silence. It's the silence of the wilderness that scares them.
That's
to
the
me.
fear.
That's what calms me.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
I mean?
the zen.
Yeah. It's totally a zen. Yeah. I mean, I really like.
I agree with that.
So other than the car time where you were getting scared, like was there any other points where you were doing something and you like psyched yourself out?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I said it on this other. Maybe I'll just say it again, so just in case. But I was hiking with my dog. I was in my 20s at the time. I was hiking with my dog, and I was hiking it was a 4-loop pass over in Maroon Bells. Pretty popular one now. You have to get a permit to go to it. But it was in June, so there was still a lot of snow up at the peak. And I got up to the snow, and that was that snow that feels like sand, you know? It's just like that granular snow. No big deal. I'm like, I can get through this. It wasn't that far to the peak. And then I fell in. And again, at that point, I thought I could conquer the world. I'm in my 20s, you know, I got a 50-pound pack on me, you know, but I was just like fit. And I fell in, and it fell in up to here. And so I immediately put my arms out so I didn't fall all the way in. Couldn't move my legs because my legs were just like packed with snow everywhere. Couldn't move my legs. I was scared.
Yeah, I don't think you told us this one.
Oh, I didn't? Oh, yeah. This is like one of the moments in my life that I was like, oh my gosh. And I was hiking alone with just me and my dog, and I was going to be out there for 6 days. And my dog was named Snoopy at the time, and I'm like, Snoopy, and he starts whining, and he's a Rottweiler mix. I like those bigger dogs, you know? And I'm like, what am I gonna do? Of course, I'm talking to my dog, like, what am I gonna do? And he's just standing there, he's whining, he's like jumping around. I grab onto his pack. I didn't have to say anything, and he started going.
That's awesome.
He pulled me out.
No kidding.
wow.
Snow. I remember this like it was yesterday. I can like smell the air, you know, because that's how it is when you have like that adrenaline.
Yeah.
You know, and the snow was going to my face, and he pulled me right out.
pulled
I
you
got
out.
out to my waist and immediately took off my pack.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want all that extra weight on me. So then what I must have looked ridiculous to the people down the hill. But I push up my backpack and I'm laying down in the snow, so that way I'm not going to fall in. I didn't want just my feet to be the point where all my weight was at. And so I'm pushing up the backpack until, that was hard.
Yeah, if the dog wasn't there.
Yeah, the dog wasn't there, but it could have been one of those times where I'm like, I shouldn't do this because I have more peaks to go over. It could have been one of those times where I just quit, you know, and I'm one of those I'm a stubborn Viking. It's like, I'm not quitting, you know, and I continued my hike.
You didn't turn back. That wasn't, you were like, I'm keep going.
Yeah.
Snoopy pulled me out. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, my pickup, I was supposed to get a pickup. Oh, wait a minute. It wasn't Maroon Bells. It was Cross Creek Wilderness. Not that it matters, but, I was supposed to get a pickup at a spot, and the guy didn't show up because there was a mudslide on I-70 and he couldn't get over. And Yeah, and that was a little scary because then I was out of food, So that taught me to always have 2 days extra of food. So whenever I backpack, for the longer treks, I do at least 2 days extra of food.
So if you plan for a 72-hour, backpacking trip, you're going to plan for 5 days worth of food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good to know.
That is
But
the
also
best.
the dog too, because
Yeah, he's got to eat too, right?
oh, he's got to eat too. Yeah, yeah. Because you try to not feed your dog for 2 days, So he was eating. I had some extra oatmeal, I think. So he had some oatmeal with me. You know what I mean? And so I just was like, well, I guess I got to hike back to my car, and there was no coverage or anything like that. So it was,
Pretty intense.
It was intense. It was an intense trip, but it was cool.
Damn, Tammy, make my backpacking trip sound like weak sauce. We did. I think the most extreme thing I did was James Peak with Arthur. We conquered that sucker, and I felt defeated at the end of that. But that wasn't. I mean, that was just a day hike. We got up there at 6 a.m. We conquered it. We were back by
It was like
sundown.
6 or 7
Yeah.
hours.
But that was intense.
Oh yeah,
We were dealing with
Feeling it the
70,
next
80
day.
mile an hour winds up at the top. I mean,
yeah.
it was
Oh, yeah.
wanting to blow us over.
I brought several Cliff bars and granola bars and
Beef jerky.
and I thought it was going to be enough, but like we didn't even hit the peak yet.
didn't bring enough rations.
and I'm already
Yeah.
eating like the last of it. Like it was crazy how
So
Then
hungry.
you
How it
wonder
takes-
how your
takes it
body
out of
can
you.
really survive a
amazing.
week without food.
Especially in those physically demanding situations.
Yeah, it's tough. That's why I said you got to get out in 3 days. So I did test my body out just to see because I was curious. And I had a friend with me at that time where I didn't eat for, was it 50 some hours, something like that? I think I can't remember exactly. I did a video on it. Anyways, it was like multiple days I didn't eat, and then I went for a backpacking trip, and I wanted to see how my body
That's wild.
reacted to it. And yeah, I started. It's not hallucinating, but I started being like, whoa, like really
feeling
dizzy.
woozy and-
Yeah, and it's because I was climbing a mountain too, so it's like your body needs fuel.
Big time.
And 3 days max for me out
Yeah.
there, not 7.
It's too much.
Yeah, you'll start hallucinating, I think, because you're climbing these peaks, you're climbing these mountains, you have nothing in your system.
And
Now,
now-
there's certain things you could eat out there, like you see a lot of dandelions, you can
Sure.
eat that. I don't know if that's really going to fill you up.
5-10 calories at the most.
Yeah,
If that.
maybe. But I would be eating it, you know
sure?
what I mean?
Yeah.
You can see wild strawberries sometimes on the trail, but they're like little tiny little balls, but
full of seeds.
yeah, full of seeds, but I'd still eat that.
They're
you
sweet,
know?
so it gives you a little bit of that sugar rush, a little bit of that psychological advantage maybe, if need
yeah.
be.
Yeah. You can eat bark of aspen.
Really?
But you have to go through the first layer and you got to get in that. That doesn't taste so good, just so you know.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I don't-
but you could eat it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know the deer like to do that. My dad would always be mad because
Yeah.
we had these aspen trees on our property that was like 5 acres, and the deer would always be getting the aspens and stuff. That's
I haven't tried the bark.
Kills the tree. Yeah.
Oh yeah, tear it apart. After watching, when Man vs. Wild was big in I guess it was like mid 2000s that came out. And I moved out to Colorado in 07. I started exploring a little bit around, and I had that like adventurous part of me that I wanted to be like Bear Grylls, So
dude, you were such a huge Bear Grylls fan.
I still am. I love Bear Grylls.
I love Bear Grylls.
I think he's great.
Awesome. Yeah.
I think he's great. So I would start eating some wild stuff. I was like trying the beetle grubs,
Yep.
ants, termites, and as horrible as they tasted, they were all horrible. They make me gag every one of them. But I wanted to know what it was like.
Here in Colorado,
Yeah.
you're eating them?
Yeah. I did.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I
haven't got
did.
to that point.
I was a little bit rambunctious and I wanted to try. I don't know if I could do it now. My gag reflex is a little bit too sensitive, but I think I could do it if I had to.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I wanted to know. Like if I had to eat this to live, could I do it? I think I could.
I mean, when
Easy
it
to
when
say,
it comes
but-
down to survival, like you're saying, like you're surprised what the human body will do in order
Yeah.
to survive.
It's amazing.
But then like you have to have some sort of education, some know-how, so you're not eating something that's poisonous or
That's the other
or that's
thing.
going to dehydrate you or something like that.
Yeah, or those mushrooms that are out there that
The psychedelic ones,
Yeah, you don't want to eat those.
Yeah, that's not going to help the mission.
No, it's not.
That's going to take you on a different course.
Yeah. I mean, what do those grow on? Cow pies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see them out there, but there are some poisonous mushrooms out there, though. That
Yeah.
Definitely. Because I ended up, I was like, I got in 1 year, I was like, I'm going to figure out what mushrooms I could eat, And so, yeah, it's so hard because so many of them look the same, And I'm like, I think I could eat that one. And then I joined this like girls group of like mushroom pickers or something. And they're all like, yeah, I ate this one. And And she's like, I had the runs for like a week. I'm like, that won't do so good in survival situations.
No, because that
Now you're
dehydrates
you're
you
talking
too,
about
right?
dehydration,
that would be even worse.
uncomfortability. Yeah, you get dehydrated out there. That's probably one of the worst case scenarios.
Oh yeah, 'cause you get a headache and it'd be bad.
Jeez.
It'd be bad.
So kind of to veer off the conversation, we're not going to mention what type of car, but you bought a new car recently.
Oh, I can say what kind
And-
of car it is.
well,
'cause
how-
I said it on my channel.
Well, I was wondering
yesterday.
what the car salesman was like.
Oh,
Like, did you have to deal with like you know the strong arm stuff or like?
So Arthur used to be a
I
Honda
used to sell-
salesman.
I used to
Oh,
sell
really?
cars.
To bring this full circle, so he gets real curious
that's
about
why
car
I'm curious
salesmen.
about it. I was
oh,
just
you're curious about the car salesman.
about your experience.
You know, I was
like,
probably the easiest person to sell to because first of all, I don't like buying anything. That's just how I am. You know, I don't like shopping. I'm the woman that doesn't like to go shopping. I know what I want and I'm just going to buy that, you know? So I went in there and the guy was nice and I said, I want this car. And he's like, okay. And I said, I'm going to pay this much, which was like $4,000 less than what the asking price was.
Okay.
And he's like, I don't know. You're trying to beat me up. And I'm like, I will pay for it right now if you could get that signed. And he said, okay, hold on. Comes back. We signed it. I left with the car.
Nice.
That was like literally, it was like the fastest car sales for that guy.
Was it like a 2-hour process?
Yeah, I think because of all the paperwork.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it
waiting
probably
on
I
all
was.
mean,
That's
if
clear.
you could buy a car in an hour and a half, like kudos. Like that,
Yeah.
that just doesn't happen, especially with financing.
It takes a
Yeah.
while. It might
Yeah.
take about 3 or 4 hours, but
Yeah.
it sounded like Tammy was ready to
Yeah,
rip.
the
She went in
pilot's
there.
Yeah,
nice,
I'm
though.
just not, I'm like, hey, let's just cut the crap.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy this car.
Here's what it is.
Yeah, yeah, and they were cool about it, you know. They were really cool. There were some issues with it, and they fixed it because, of course, I said one of the things I said too is that I need a rack for the car for my gear, and they're like, well, you know, that costs like $300, and I said, I know you're gonna give it to me,
No, you're just gonna give it to me.
and they did. So I have a rack in the car. So
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Honda Pilot upgrade, like you said, because I was watching your Q&A, and you're like, you know, creature of habit. I'm going to stick with what I know. Honda Pilot's great. My girlfriend's been
The
driving
new ones
hers for
are
years.
really nice.
Yeah.
They're
really
nice.
They're
Yeah, I
smooth.
like him. Yeah. In fact, though, I had a guy come out to my property. He was he's plowing my driveway right this winter, and he said to me, he's like, he looked at my car and he's like, you're gonna be moving out here? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be moving out here. He's like, you need a new car. I'm like, that's a Honda Pilot. Like, I took my other Honda Pilot crazy places. I like, this car is awesome.
Oh, yeah. I've seen what they're capable of.
Yeah, no, it's a good. I mean, it might need some better tires, I think, though.
Some aggressive tread.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit more. I mean, my other Honda Pilot that my 16-year-old has because I gave her mine.
Oh, okay. So you handed it down to her.
I handed it down to her.
Nice.
Yeah, but I look at those tires and I'm like,
Swap the tires.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna swap the tires out. You know?
Yeah.
I love the original Honda Pilot just because all like the cubbies and little spots that you
Yeah.
can put stuff in there. You know, I don't have that many knickknacks or anything, but I just like to know that I have an option.
Yeah.
To
that a
put,
selling
to put-
point?
yeah, to put stuff in places. You know, just in case.
Yeah, at the Honda Pilot now, the one that I got has a little compartment in the back. And so I always keep like winter survival stuff in my car just because I'm out in the middle of nowhere. You driving down 285, you know, if you're stuck, you're done. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
no one's coming to get you. You're sleeping in your car. So you always want to make sure that you have something in your car. So I end up having like my winter survival gear in there, which I'll do a video on that soon,
That'd be
showing
fun.
what's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you
preparedness.
guys should have it. Like, you'll
Yeah.
never know when you need it.
That's-
and
I-
you're gonna be stuck out there, and you'll be like, "Man, I wish Tam was here because
Yep.
she'd have all her gear.
You're right.
She'd have her knife."
Yeah, you must have rubbed off my mother because 2 years ago for Christmas, she got me for a whole winter survival kit for my car.
There you go.
Couple duffel bags. I mean, it had, you know, fire starting sticks.
Nice.
You know, everything you can think of. The heat blankets, the flashlights, the water, you know,
Good.
some rations. Just basic tools that's going to get you through a situation like
Yep.
that if you get stranded on a Colorado road. Because I thought the same thing. Like, when the hell am I going to need this, Mom? Well, you don't know.
You don't know when you
don't
need
know.
it.
It's just like I say, because people ask me, why do you carry a pistol everywhere you go? Well, I'd rather have it and not need it, you know, than need it and not have it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. I've always had a sleeping bag like in my trunk. I mean, I know that's not a lot, but it's something.
that will help. That yeah,
It's something.
Game changer.
You know?
sleeping bag's one of my number one, my top 5.
Yeah.
Sleeping bag is my top 5.
I've even gotten out of a snowy, like, you know, get the car stuck in snow. I've even gotten out of that using the sleeping bag to like
Really?
Distraction?
Yeah, you put it underneath
Okay.
and then it gives it some traction, so it's not
Wow.
slipping anymore.
I probably wouldn't have thought. I'd be like, no, it's my precious.
I'm like, I'm getting out of here. This sleeping bag's old. It's itchy.
I'd probably wait
Oh,
till
yeah.
the snow melts. I'd be like, no.
I've seen that with car mats before. Like the floor mats.
Yeah.
That'll work as traction if
Oh,
you're
yeah,
in a
that would work too,
situation.
yeah.
Because I drive a front wheel drive car. My little Ford Focus. I know. I know. So anytime we do
Your
mountain.
girlfriend has a better car than you.
You're right, Tammy. She does. She's rocking that Honda Pilot.
Yeah, she
so
is.
anytime we
That's
do
funny.
anytime we do mountain travel, and obviously we're going to take her car. I got my Focus because of what I for a living. I was traveling around. I wanted better fuel economy.
Yeah, I get it.
But you're right. I need to get that 4-wheel drive if I'm going
Yeah.
to stay here in this climate.
Yeah.
Well, or real-time all-wheel drive. That's what you got.
Yep.
So it's mainly front wheel, and then it automatically kicks into all-wheel drive.
And that's spoken like a
That's it.
previous Honda salesman right
There
there.
you go.
I could probably show you all the buttons on the thing. I was selling that same model. It
Oh,
was-
were you?
well,
Oh,
'cause
I
it's not
have
the
no
2020, it was
idea.
like-
There's so many
Yeah.
buttons in my car. I don't even know what I'm like, I want a key. Why can't I have a key?
a real key. Yeah.
A real key.
So-
I
so
keep
you do have
leaving
a
my
s-
car with the
You do have a
keys in it.
slide-out key. In your
No,
in your
I do?
Yeah, there's like a slide out key that pops out of there, so you can unlock the driver door, and like it's for like your glove box. So there's like a slide out key there.
See what I mean?
So funny
you go.
story. I met my girlfriend selling her car, and part of the sales process was to touch all the buttons, show all the features and stuff. And so it came to time for me to like, hey, your car's clean, you're all signed, you're good to take it. Can I give you the tutorial? And she was like, oh, I think I got it, And so I didn't get to cover much with her.
Yeah.
But then she ended up texting me and asking me out for a drink because, I'm being a professional. So I'm not trying to ask. And so she does that. And lo and behold, I ended up teaching her all the stuff regardless. Because
Oh, yeah.
she needed it, like helping her set up the phone and like all the little things and how do you do this on it. And,
Well, after this, I'm going to ask you where my key is.
Yeah. You're gonna
I
give
was
her the
wondering,
lowdown.
like, why is there even a key in the door? There's no key in the...
yeah, no, I'll show you.
Yeah.
I kind of miss selling cars. Like it was fun selling cars and driving them and getting
Yeah.
to meet a bunch of people, but it was just working every single weekend, working the 12-hour shifts. Like if I could do a car sales where I showed up at 8 a.m., left at 4 every day, had the weekends off,
Yeah.
I would still do it because it was kind of fun selling cars,
Yeah.
Yeah, the pressure with the quotas, you got to sell X amount of cars.
But yeah.
I like being in the position where it's an 8 to 5, kind of thing. You make your money, you go home.
Yeah.
And we all got to do it. We got to make money on the side. And I know, Tammy, you do a little bit of artwork, right?
I do artwork, yes.
So tell us
it's
about
kind
that.
of a recent adventure that I'm on right now. I actually opened an Etsy account. Never done that before, so I'm
Now, what's
learning.
what's Etsy? Because I heard you mention it a few times. I've never heard of it.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
it's
I haven't
where.
heard of that either.
Oh, you guys got to go on it.
All right.
It's where like, I see. I'm gonna probably butcher it, but it's how my opinion of Etsy is where people can sell handmade goods.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's not like a ton of painting. You're
So,
not
like,
selling $1,000
Maybe jam
paintings
or
there.
something too. Like if somebody does homemade jam, they
Yeah.
can sell jam on there.
Yeah, they can sell jam or like somebody sells soap or a guy makes wood furniture and he wants to sell it. That's where he would sell it.
Oh, wow.
So to me, it's more like you feel like you're getting more handmade stuff than just something that's reproduced all the time. Now, not to say that they don't have that on there because I've seen that on there too. So you're just gonna have to pick and choose what you want. But if you want something like as a gift, for Christmas or something, Etsy's a really good place to go. There's a little plug for Etsy right there.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When you were talking about it in your Q&A last time, like, what's Etsy? I haven't heard of that.
Yeah,
Now I
it's-
know. It's a place to sell homemade goods.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what kind of art are you doing then?
It's like acrylic paintings. So
Okay.
I've been doing like little, because they're easier to ship. I've been doing like 8x10 little paintings. But I've been put in a gallery over in Bailey, Colorado. So I got some paintings over there. I'm actually, if you're driving on 285, going up to Guanella Pass. Right there at that intersection where that beef jerky guy is. There's a little gift store there. I got my paintings, a painting there with my daughter. She's got a painting as well, so it runs in the family. But it's been a lot
That's
of
awesome.
fun. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I've sold like 28 paintings.
That's exciting.
Thanks to my subscribers.
Oh yeah.
They
awesome.
really support me. They really do.
Yeah.
And my style is kind of a cartoonish kind of look to it. So
Okay.
some of them have a cartoon kind of look to it. I do a lot of mountain scenes too, just because, well, I'm in Colorado, and it's just kind of fun. I play with a lot of color. It's more of like a therapy thing, I think, for me, because of this whole COVID thing.
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
and I've had having to be home a lot. So I was like, well, might as well just start painting.
Do something productive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
fun.
there's something about original artwork that's, you painted it. It gives off like an energy and an
Yes.
aura. And so if somebody were to duplicate it and copy it, like that copy wouldn't have the same effect as so. Original artwork is awesome to have because, I did one with my girlfriend during COVID. Like we did the whole class where
Okay.
a bunch of us hung out, and it was like 5 hours, like the session. It
Oh
was
my gosh.
way long. But I ended up hanging it in my room, and I look at it at time to time, and I'm like, hey, that makes
pretty
me
cool.
feel good.
Yeah. I do the same thing.
So is it always? Do you ever do like animals, or is it mainly?
I do. Currently, right now, I got commissioned to do a duck with two little chicks. So I'm doing that tonight. I'll be painting that one tonight.
Ooh, fun.
I did people's pets too, and again, it's a cartoon version of their
Yeah.
pet. You know what I mean? I did a pig, somebody's pet pig. That was fun. I'm like, never thought I was ever gonna paint a pig, but I was. I don't know. It's more fun for me.
Yeah.
I sell the paintings for like $45.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That includes shipping and everything. So it's really it's just for fun. And I thought that later in life and as I go to retire, maybe I might do something really big paintings kind of thing, because usually I do the big paintings above your couch,
Okay.
those kind of paintings, but I'm trying to go smaller, something that doesn't, somebody wants original piece of art, but they don't want to spend a ton of money. I make sure I don't go over 3 hours when I'm painting it, and it's all good. So I enjoy
It's
it.
fun.
Yeah, that's important to enjoy it, and have fun with it. I'm not real good at art, I'll tell you that.
Well, I do painting parties.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I've been doing them on Zoom.
Okay.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to do them in the mountains. I'm having this idea that I think once the COVID's done, it'd be really cool to do
Do
it
mountain
up.
paintings?
Well, you
Yeah,
could
do it in
that.
the
In the mountains.
In the mountains, or like people are coming to ski in Colorado, and maybe they don't want to go out to dinner, maybe they don't want to go bowling. Maybe they
Yeah.
want something different. Well, I can show up there with all the painting supplies, and we could just have a painting party with their family.
You could
I think
totally
that's fun.
do that during COVID as long as just get the temperature reader, and that way when they show, I was thinking about getting one of those for the studio. We start getting people's temps when they come in here.
I don't have a temp.
but you do that, you get that, and then you just spread them all out 6 feet.
Yeah.
There's ways to do
it's
it.
all possible.
Well, let's just hope this thing ends,
Yeah.
quick enough that we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But it's fun to be able to create and do art. Because you said it was acrylic paint that you do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's acrylic paint, so it dries really fast.
Dries pretty fast.
Yep. So it doesn't blend as well as an oil painting does, but again, it's fun. It's just a fun adventure for me. It's I'll be painting the rest of my life. In fact, the cabin that I'm building is going to have a painting studio in there.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Nice.
And I'll do some other kind of craft too. I'm all over the place.
Yeah, you're
Little ADD
constantly
going on.
innovating. I know, because it was about a year ago you made the announcement that the cabin was going to happen.
Yes, yes.
So update us. What's going on with the cabin?
So the cabin. So if any of my subscribers are watching this, you're gonna get some extra behind the scenes kind of stuff here. So, you haven't built in the mountains, have you?
No.
I'm guessing you haven't. You have any experience
I've
with
done,
family?
I've done
Zero.
some construction in the mountains.
Oh, really? Can I
but-
hire you?
Yeah, maybe. I do love working. It's just, it's hard to like put on bags after you've been doing your 40-hour week of normal work,
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I hear you. So this has been probably a 2-year process so far, and we're gonna go for another 2 years. I think my cabin will actually end up being done in 2022, which I'm really sad about because I was hoping it'd be done this fall. To be honest
Yeah.
with you, that's what I was hoping for. COVID came, it hit. We can't find contractors up there. That's the bigger problem. My cabin was sitting for 5 weeks in the summertime. In the summer,
Jeez,
like I'm sitting
wow.
there looking at me and like, hello, is someone gonna build the cabin? But nothing against my builder. I did hire a builder to do the majority of the work, and I'll be doing some of it.
Mm-hmm.
But currently, right now, it's just a foundation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like it's cement, and I, you know what I mean. That's it.
So you got the foundation laid, and now
Do you have it waterproofed at least so it doesn't?
Yeah.
like, okay.
It's waterproofed.
That's
It's backfilled in. You know, it's a process. It's a big process
It
out there
definitely is.
because you got like 2 guys to choose from, and there's so many people that want to move to the mountains right now. Like my property has increased a lot up there.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah, and then the cabins up there are their prices are going up. You know what I mean? Which I'm like, gotta get my cabin built fast. You know what I mean? But yeah, people are if you're trying to buy a cabin, you know, for like 250,000, you can't find one there anymore.
Wow.
Now they're all 400. When I first started there 2.5 years ago, you can find it for 250.
That's
Not
wild.
anymore.
Not anymore.
Not
Yeah.
anymore.
The market value here in Colorado is huge everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are.
Well, and people want out of the city, you
Right.
know. And as long as you got Wi-Fi, you know, most people.
Yeah.
Well, not most people. It's just in my world, because I'm in the tech world for my real job. I can work from anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, as long as I have internet. So people are having satellite out there, and
Now, do you have Wi-Fi at Spirit Forest?
no, I will.
You will.
I will.
Of course.
And I'll be paying $200 a month for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because of how isolated it is?
Yeah, because how
Well,
isolated.
it's probably through satellite out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's satellite. They do have a DSL line that comes in. I get 1 megabyte.
Oh,
That's not enough.
No,
Speed
I'm like,
racer, watch out.
Yeah, I know.
Not enough.
I'm like, I don't even know if I can make a call off that because I don't have cell coverage there either.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I do every once in a while. I'll get something, but most of the time I don't.
Depending where the wind's blowing.
Yeah, where the wind's blowing. Exactly. That's true.
Yeah, you got to climb a tree to try and pull in some cell reception. That's nice, though. I mean, that's the point of why you purchased this land way out there, was to get away, right?
Yeah,
And
I wanted
just-
to get away. You
Yeah.
know, and I really wanted. I pictured myself this winter being in my cabin, not having it totally done yet, but being able to make a fire inside the cabin at least.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Yeah.
It will be
Now
nice.
I'm gonna be in a
how
tent
big is
again.
it? Like how many square feet by square feet?
It's like 30 feet by 30 feet, something like that.
Okay.
So
Pretty
it's
good sized
gonna.
tent, though.
Yeah.
The canvas tent?
Oh no,
No,
not
the foundation
cabin.
for the cabin.
Oh, the cabin. 30 by 30.
Yeah, something like that. My
Okay.
my canvas tent area is 24 by 16, so I've upgraded.
Yeah.
I'm upgraded.
It's a good upgrade.
Yeah, it's a good upgrade.
Yeah, that's all the
It'll
space
be
you need,
about
though.
1,300 square feet, something like that.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something really satisfying about building something and just seeing it come together. You know, like my dad had me help him build this huge back deck, and it took the summer and part of the winter. And just looking at it now, it's like, oh yeah, that's gonna be there after I die. Like that's so awesome. But yeah, I mean, the demand for like what you're saying, just because everyone's working from home now, can work anywhere as long as your job permits that. Like people are getting out, they're getting up to the mountains, and I mean.
And why not? You
Yeah.
know, like why not? Why
Yeah.
not spread out? Because right here in the city, I feel so trapped. It's like
congested.
even just going for a walk, like you see somebody coming at you, you got to cross the street.
You got to do
know.
the snake.
Yeah, you do. It's like you're totally avoiding people. You're like, sorry, I guess. Okay, hold on. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You wait there. I'm gonna come over here.
Are they going to cut? We'll cut.
And,
we'll
and, you
cut
know,
'cause
then you
they're
get
not
those
cutting.
germphobic people that think that everybody has COVID. You
Yeah.
know, so then it's like you just got to be really careful.
Creates an
you know?
awkward exchange, yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather be in the mountains.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree
I'll be
with you.
by myself. I'm by myself anyways. It feels like even when you're walking in the city. So why not
Yeah.
be in the mountains?
True.
Absolutely.
So it's yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But like you said, a lot of people are adopting that mindset as well, that they want to get the hell out of the city themselves because now that COVID's hit, they're like, I want to be away from people.
Yep.
And so the rural areas that we know and love and getting out to the outdoors is now being contaminated by all the city folk.
Yeah, it is. And I think I mentioned the last one too, that I'm building a Viking cabin.
Yeah.
Yes, Viking. So I'm putting dragons on the top, on the roof area. There's gonna be some dragons up there, and there's gonna be some Viking kind of symbol stuff inside the cabin, which is gonna be really fun. And I thought about doing like an Airbnb
That'd be awesome.
type thing too, because that would make it like more like
Come visit Valhalla
yeah, exactly.
without dying a glorious death on the battlefield.
Yeah, exactly. I think it'd be kind of fun, you know, just having some sort of a theme to it.
Yeah.
Now, recently, the county has put out that they're taxing people and stuff for having Airbnbs and stuff like that. So I don't know if I'll end up doing that, but yeah, if you want to stay in a Viking cabin, you just let me know.
keep
do
that
it
in
to
mind.
friends and family kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The VIP package. That'd be fun though. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be it has a Viking flair to it, because I actually had a subscriber or someone comment on my last video say, it's more American house. And I'm like, well, how many houses do you see with dragons on it? I don't know too many.
Yeah.
But, you know, inside's going to be, you know, standard kitchen and all that kind of stuff, you know, but maybe I'll get a Viking oven. Isn't there a Viking brand oven?
There has to be.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah.
I think there is. I think there's a brand called Viking or something.
The
I'm like trying to
the
think of
Norseman.
what it would look like or how it would work, you know? Like maybe it's not traditional, maybe it's not like electric or gas, but like you have to, you know, it's wood fed.
Yeah, well, I try to get one of those because I wanted to get a stove that I could cook on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hard to find now because
bet.
everybody wants these gas stoves. I can't, and I have tons of wood on my property. I was like, I'm gonna burn wood. So yeah, I found one. It has like a little fire up here, and then it has a little like cooking area down at the bottom. So then the heat kind of circulates through it and stuff like that.
Like, is it like a cast iron wood stove, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Those are nice. They put off good heat. You know,
Well,
you
yeah,
cook on
that's
them.
gonna heat the cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, that's with all the wood you have up there. That would be probably the most efficient way to heat the area, right? Would be
yeah.
with wood fire.
Well, yeah, less expensive because I've heard up there to heat a cabin can cost $500 a month, and that's for like let's say
Like propane or
yeah,
wow.
Natural gas, yeah.
yeah, and that is for probably like a 2,000 square foot home.
500 a month.
500.
That's like an air
that's a
conditioning
lot.
bill in Arizona in the summertime.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? I mean, they pay out the wazoo to cool and heat their places.
It was 4 degrees there yesterday.
Was it really?
Yeah, yeah. So then I priced out. I try to get somebody to come out there to price out doing that spray foam insulation.
Okay,
You know,
yeah.
because that's pretty good. No one will drive out there.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Even the guys doing my flooring, my footers and stuff, they had to drive an hour and 20 minutes to get there. And I was like, oh, thanks for driving. They're like, it's a long drive to get to work. But they said it's really pretty at your property.
Sure.
And so I was like, okay.
That's
thanks.
rewarding, you know. They get to work in a nice environment. They're
Mm-hmm.
used to working in, you know, the hustle and bustle, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Get
They
out,
get to go out in the middle of
Breathe
nowhere.
the fresh air, see the
Build a
beautiful
cabin.
scenery. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's
Yeah.
cool.
So I will be staying in my tent more this summer because I'm selling my house in the city.
Are you really?
So I will be actually living in a tent.
So you're going 100%. I'm out of the city.
Well, not 100. I'm going to
you
rent
still got
a
your kids.
basement. So I will have somewhere, because I have kids, you know.
Right.
But they're going to be coming to the tent with me on my week, you know. But every once in a while, I probably won't be able to get them out of the city. So I'm going to end up renting a basement. But yeah, I'll be living in the tent next year. Just hoping the showers are open.
For sure. Yeah, I can go like 3 days before it's a must for me.
Yeah.
And that's
pushing
like
it.
zero activity. Like if I'm working and getting busy, you know. So do you grow anything like tomatoes or like anything like that?
Produce.
No, like nothing. It
Yeah.
gets in the 30s at night in the summertime.
Really?
sometimes.
Too cold.
It's
Okay.
at 10,000 feet.
Yeah, so it's too high up.
Yeah, it's really high up. Now, you know, once I have a cabin there, I can do a little greenhouse or something, and there I
Okay.
can grow something. But no, I can't really grow anything up there, and it's just so dry.
Yeah.
I mean, just picture yourself pretty high up and trying to grow something.
Yeah,
there.
that high and dry. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I get a lot of people like, oh, you have a garden. I'm like, well, I have a lot of deer that come through my property, so that garden's going to be gone. So unless I,
You're just going to be feeding the wildlife. Yeah.
yeah, I'll be feeding the wildlife. And yeah, the bears try to get into people's little greenhouses and stuff like
Wow.
that. So
gotta
those aren't
bear-proof
really,
it all.
and you know, unless you're buying a real expensive one, they're really not bear proof. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
point.
didn't think about all that when I asked that question. One of my favorite homegrown things that I've ever had, my mom grew it. It was a beet. It was like a really delicious beet that when you cut it open, it was multicolored and like had a little heart shape in it.
that's
It was
cool.
like a specific type of beet.
You remember exactly the beet you ate?
Yeah, it was that good. It was
Oh, wow.
it was so delicious. You know, and there's just something about like
Homegrown produce.
Yeah, or if you know the farmer who slaughtered the beef, like that
Yeah.
beef is gonna be super good.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's just humanity is so widespread. Like I for population of humanity, I honestly feel like we've over exceeded the amount of humans that the planet can sustain naturally. And if it wasn't for all like the modern agriculture techniques and growth hormones and all this stuff, then humans wouldn't be able to sustain this population. So it's it's just
I would love
Yeah.
to be able to grow my own food. In fact, my house here in the city, before I put grass in and stuff, I actually had like rows for gardening. So I was going to grow all my own food. And I stopped doing that.
well, it's
It's
a lot of work.
It's a lot of
It
work.
is.
A lot of work.
That was a lot of
And then
work.
you got to get ready to harvest. You got to keep the bunnies out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that are involved. It's difficult to grow and maintain sustainable food source here in Colorado. I mean, it's one thing to raise cattle and things like that. That takes its own toll. But we just tried growing my girlfriend's, just tomatoes and pickles
Yeah.
and or cucumbers to pickle and things like that. And it was like that alone was a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Just with the climate here and maintaining it.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of, because I grew up in New England, and it seemed like farming and growing produce back there was a little bit easier just because of the climate. Even though it got cold in the wintertime, the summer months were still a little bit easier to harvest, apples and a lot of your produce that we, get at the grocery store. But I don't have a green thumb, I've never tried to. My mother's great at it.
Yeah.
She grew a lot of stuff growing up, and it was fun.
Yeah, I would like to. I'll probably end up at some point getting a greenhouse up there and just trying it out. I do see other people that have done it, usually people kind of give up on it, but, if I'm up there full time,
Why
might
not?
as well. Yeah, might as well.
What's the worst that's going to happen? It doesn't work.
Yeah. And, the community in the mountains, I feel, especially where I'm at, it's like everybody's helping each other out. I'm here in the city and I don't even talk to my neighbor. And,
Yeah.
Like, I can, spit on her house from my window. You know what I mean? Like, she's literally 5 or 10 feet away and I don't even talk to her. But in the mountains, if I'm up there, somebody drives by, they stop, they come out, they start talking to me for a little bit,
It's nice.
Yeah, it's so nice. And the people have chickens. And so they're like, oh, I got some extra
Yeah.
eggs if anybody wants some eggs.
They're always trying to give away eggs.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Or a quarter of a cow.
They all
Yeah.
got too many eggs.
Yeah,
They all
I just
have too
kind of
many
miss
eggs.
that. I've always been in the city and I kind of want to change,
Yeah,
I
that
agree.
makes sense. So I grew up in Denver, off of 17th and Colorado area.
Okay.
And then we moved to Parker when I was 8 or 9, and I felt like people in the city were friendlier than the suburbs, at least.
Oh.
Because just me growing up, and it was different times back in the 90s and back
Yeah.
then, but I feel like people would say hi. And oh, hey, how's your day going? Or quick highs. And then,
Yeah.
growing up in the suburbs, I don't feel like there was that connection with my neighbor where it's oh, hey, how you doing? But now it's the population's just doubling and doubling. And it's it's hard to find a connection with people.
It is.
And I don't know. I'm about to go on a little rant. I feel like,
Do it.
people, when people ask how your day's going, we're supposed to just be oh, the day's fine. No one wants to actually hear how your
Yeah.
day's actually going.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like people should open up a little bit. And if you're having a bad day, you're oh, hey, well, hey, how's your day going? Well, it's a little tough, but it's still not bad. Then maybe that person might ask, well, what's tough, and you don't know what's gonna come of it. But I just think that's kind of funny, the whole, hey, how you doing? But don't actually tell me how you're doing.
It's like a program thing. How you doing?
Yeah.
Good. How are you?
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's true. But you're right, Tammy. I mean, up in the outskirts and getting out into the wilderness and people up there, every time I've been hiking or I've explored some of the areas, anyone I run into is usually they have such great energy because they're all there for the same reason.
Yeah.
Whereas in the city, we're here to exist, we're here to work, we're here to grind.
Yeah.
You get out to the essential part of life and people they're happy to be there.
Yeah.
And it's a different kind of interaction.
I call it too that they're on mountain time, which means they're taking their if you order food, you're in the city, you're getting it right away because they're trying to turn the table. Up in the mountains, you order food. Yeah, you might get it in an hour.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
It's just
plan on hanging out. It's an experience to
Yeah.
be there, And it's just sometimes even myself, I have to try to it's okay. Just sit here and enjoy being here.
Yeah.
There's this one brew pub that I like over in Fairplay. And sometimes their service is a little slower. And I'm I kind of like it here. And this is before COVID. They had little games and stuff. You could board games and, make an experience and hang out and chill for a little bit, Yeah, I like it.
I
like it too.
appreciate that more
Laid
too.
back.
I mean, as time goes on, it's like, what's the point of life? Like, what is the point of all this monotony of working every day and paying bills? Like, if you can't find the silver lining of enjoying your time. So, like, I try to enjoy the small things, like brushing my teeth. Like, that's a part of life to me. And it's like, okay, I'm enjoying, doing dental hygiene. So it's, if you can get out of the city and start experiencing, and I know I sound like a hippie and come off like this a lot of times, but being around the trees, like it gives off a good energy, and it
100%.
fulfills you. And even if you're unaware of it, you're still reaping the benefits of being outside of concrete. Because so I live in a pretty decent neighborhood. It's nice. It has a lot of trees. And working from home, it's really nice to go on an afternoon walk and be in the trees. And I remember working downtown, and on my afternoon walk, it would be strictly concrete, some bums, loud cars.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't pleasant. Like, and I just I feel more fulfilled and re-energized going on a walk with, trees and some grass around, opposed to just buildings. And, I feel like people who are on mountain time are going to look younger when they're older, because they're surrounding themselves with an environment that's gonna help keep them youthful. And it's the core of being a human. Like, humans aren't from bricks of concrete. Like, that's not how it started. So when you like take that out of the equation and go back to our roots, quote unquote
Primitive form.
yeah, it's going to give you a great energy,
It
and I
awakens
feel
that sense.
Because that's what we're supposed
Yeah.
to. We're not supposed to be sitting in front of a computer all the time. I mean, I'm in front of a computer 8 to 9 hours a day. So it's like the last thing I want to do is sitting in front of a computer.
Right.
Talk about my art. Somebody asked me, why don't I do digital art? I'm like, no, no. You know what I mean? No. But what you were talking about too is it's called something. It's like forest bathing. And there's a proven fact, like they actually done tests on it. People that are in the forest compared to the city, and they it's like their stress level.
so there's attractor fields. Have you heard of like attractor fields? So there's like this whole science on kinesiology, which is how your mind interacts with your muscles and your whatever you're surrounding yourself with, and conversation, smell, sight, all these things play into attractor fields. And there's positive and negative attractor fields. And like this conversation, because it's knowledge, and it's it feels like we're probably getting positive attractor fields from this. But like this table does not give off good attractor fields. Like all the metal, all this stuff around us, it doesn't, it's not life sustainable. It kind of like takes away. So when you get out into the wilderness and you feel the gravel underneath your feet, and you can smell the fresh air, like it's so beneficial to us. And so next time, for the listeners, next time you guys are out in one of those moments, just consciously be aware of that and soak it in, and just like take that extra deep breath on purpose, because it's going to, it's like filling up your gas tank.
Yeah.
It's going to fill you up to the top.
It really is. Today I went on a 3-mile walk. I'm getting better. I was sick, so I'm getting better now. Went on a 3-mile walk, and I literally like walked with my eyes closed, and just like heard the wind, because it was kind of windy today and cold, but it was
blustery.
just, I so needed it. And so I have made an effort that I'm going to put in my calendar, so I don't get scheduled. I'm going to put in my calendar some time to go for a hike every day, or a walk, or whatever, and just be outside. Now, where I'm at, there's not a lot of big trees and stuff like that, but at least it's outside.
Yeah. You're out moving around.
Yeah, you're moving around, you still kind of feel a bit in the nature. The more in the nature you get, I think the better you get. I feel like even when I go up to Spirit Forest, it takes me 3 days to like detox the city out of me. And I do what you're talking about. When I was having some health issues, I went up there and I just sat with the trees. And I know that sounds really kind of hippie like, but I am kind of hippie, And I just sat there and just like, I've hugged my trees before, you know what I mean? Like I just sat there, and you could just feel them. I don't know how to explain it, but you could just feel them. I mean,
Feel the energy.
there's a reason why my channel is called Spirit Forest. You know
I
what I
love
mean?
it. I love it. Yeah.
It's terrific.
When I see a super old tree, like I like to sit there and like look at it and be like, this tree was around before I was alive.
Yeah.
This tree's going to be here after I'm gone. You know, this tree provides oxygen, you know, and there's so many, that's why trees are powerful. You know, they convert the CO2 to oxygen, which we breathe, are essential for life, like lumber, building shelter. Like there's so many, the animals, like if you have a forest and if you have a grassland, you're not going to have as many animals as you do in a forest.
Right.
You know, and so the trees just have this energy about them. So yeah, put your hand on that tree.
Yeah.
You know, hug the tree and,
Feel the energy.
and just feel it. Close
Be
your
a
eye
tree
for
hugger.
a moment
Yeah.
and just feel the energy of that, because it's part of this planet, you know, and we're part of this planet, and we're fortunate to be alive and to be on top of the food chain and to also be conscious. You know, there's so many areas that we could be thankful for. It's like there's no point in letting life get you down, because there's so many benefits to living, and it's a matter of perspective. Like, what do you want to focus your energy on? Because there's always good and bad, but we have a choice of where do we want to focus our energy, you know, instead of just going through the motion. Like, we got to be proactive about what we want to focus on, and who we want to be, who do we want to project, like how do we want to project ourselves to other people. I think these are important thoughts to ask yourself. You know?
Yeah, you don't want to be on your deathbed with regrets, you know, or I wish I did this, or I wish I did that. And that's, you know, one of the reasons why I'm building this cabin is because I don't want to, like, yeah, I want to have 30 acres and a river running through it and all that, but it's like, this is what I can do now, and this is where I want to be. So why not just do it? You know, I'm 47 years old now, and I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm at that point where it's like, who are you? And what are you going to leave in life? You know, I'm going to end up leaving this cabin, you know, like I built it, I designed it, and, you know, I feel connected to this, and maybe I leave it to my kids. I mean, that's ultimately the goal, and it can stay in the family, but we'll see how that happens. But, you know, you just kind of get to this point where it's just like, just do it. Quit talking about, I wish I did this, or I wish I did that, and just go out there and actually do it. A lot of women that, again, take my class, they're in their 40s and 50s. I actually had, like, I think a 70-year-old woman reach out to me saying that she wants to take the class. I thought that was awesome.
That's
That is
terrific.
awesome.
Yeah, I think it's great. You know, and just wanting to do something different, you know, it's like, don't just sit on the couch and do nothing, you know, just get out there and do something. And that's what we really need. We need more of that. We got so many people that are sitting down complaining,
Yep.
you know.
Well, and you fall into that trap of doing it.
It's easy to do. You know, people are, they're programmed. You know, you go to work, come home, you're in front of a screen, you look
Yep.
at social media, you see propaganda, you see fear mongering. You know, it becomes kind of a toxic lifestyle, you know.
It
and-
really does.
Yeah.
So I heard this little thing, and this doesn't relate to you as much because you don't work on a screen for a living. Like, you're out physically doing work, which is probably
Oh,
really
lucky you.
beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But like, one person was like, so today on my weekend, I rewarded myself by watching the big screen while scrolling my small screen, like the phone, and rewarding myself for looking at my middle-sized screen all week. So it's just like, you work on the screen, and then you go to the TV, and then do that, and then you look at your phone, and before you know it, like,
Where's your life going?
yeah,
Like,
right.
what are you,
and it makes
what
you
are you
depressed.
doing?
It does
Like,
make you depressed.
Again,
does.
going back to the deathbed thing, somebody asked you, what did you do in your life? You know, well, I watched all these shows. I watched all the Survivor shows, or I watched
Yeah.
all of the,
I completed
you know,
Netflix 100%.
I watched all the programs.
Yeah, like go out and like do something, like have a goal, you know, and it doesn't have to be outdoor sports or anything like
Right.
that. You know, I say that in my channel, it's like, maybe you love to garden, you know, maybe you start a garden, or maybe you like to do woodworking. Somebody on my channel said that he likes to work on cars,
Yeah.
you know, but he says for him, it makes him just focus on the car. And it's like, he's not focused on everything else that's going on around him. He's really just focused on just like fixing his car, or doing something with, you know, his tools. And I
Yeah.
think that's really cool.
That is.
It's the creative side.
Putting your time and your energy into something that you're passionate about, you love doing, gets your mind off the hustle and bustle, all the stuff that we're so programmed to doing on a day to day, you know. And you probably just answered my next question, which we probably asked a year ago, is what's one piece of advice you would give the general public or humanity to better themselves? You know, what's that one thing that you think would really, just that one piece of advice that you would tell humanity?
I would say have a goal, have a passion for something, you know, because there's so many people that they don't have any passion for anything, and they go through life without any goals or dreams. And so get a goal, get a dream, and fulfill that.
I mean, even if it's a small one, like
Yeah, doesn't
like
have to be big.
keeping your room tidy, or just
Make your bed in the morning.
just something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something productive. I think that's good. I do. I like that one. We try to ask our guests as they come in, what do you think is this? What better humanity? And I think that's good. It's been a difficult year for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, me too.
All of us.
It's been difficult for me.
Yeah,
So,
it sounds like you've been dealing with some struggles, and you got
just not being able to get on the trails when the mayor's like, don't leave Denver, you gotta stay.
It's terrible.
No, I'm like, no, I gotta leave.
It's hard to be told no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You got to stay home. It's like I want to roam free.
Yeah.
I want to fly. So I totally understand that. Yeah, and everyone's dealing with a lot of difficult things this year. But one thing is that the outdoors is still there. We can still go breathe the fresh air, and take in the scenery.
Yeah.
Even
our local parks, and that's what I found myself doing, in the city. I'd still go to the local parks and, take off my shoes and walk in the grass,
just be
because
outdoors.
like just that touching that grass, touching the earth, and taking off those shoes, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even if you are stuck at home, you're self quarantining or whatever. If you got a tree outside of your window, just go ahead and open up the blinds, open up your window, get some fresh air, and appreciate that tree. Just give it 30 seconds. Just look at the tree for 30 seconds. Think about the oxygen. I mean, it will still help. I don't know, man. I love this whole energy talk, aura stuff. It's an important thing to dive into and at least open up your mind to it, even if it sounds uncomfortable. Oh, this thing's giving off energies. Just maybe break your comfort level a little bit and try it out.
Right.
Until you tried it.
Yeah, it's powerful. It does make a difference. I mean, I feel it firsthand. Anytime I go outdoors, like I said, I feel that energy. It's like plugging your phone in or recharging the battery.
Yeah.
We need to do it. Especially this year with everyone being cooped into the house and not getting fresh air. Like I said, once the smoke clears and the dust settles, the outdoors are still there.
Yeah.
And
they're there, and they can just be in your backyard.
Yeah.
You really don't have to go too far to find nature.
That's true. And we're pretty blessed here in Colorado to have beautiful scenery and places to go. But it doesn't matter where you're at. There's always somewhere you can go to kind of clear the mind, and get away from the hustle and bustle and the screens.
Yeah. There's a reason why, and I did a video on this too. In New York City, is it Central Park? There's a reason why they built that. The suicide rate was up.
Yeah.
And so they built this
I've heard
park
that.
to help people, and it worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Central Park's big.
The park's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah. But once they built that park, and it helped so many people back in the days. I don't remember when that park was built. But I did a whole video on that and how nature and combining cities within nature and how they started doing that. Because what they used to do is just work everybody to death, and then they found that people were really depressed. So then they started putting these little parks in the cities, and then they realized that really helped people.
It makes sense. I mean, especially in New York City. I mean, you're talking 14, 17 million people compacted in this congested area with nowhere to walk their dogs. Central Park gives them a good option to do that.
Yeah, and I don't think that we're meant to be so close to everybody and have so much cement around us. I feel that way.
I agree.
You know what I mean? But when I go on vacation, I don't go to cities. I go to the mountains somewhere else or whatever.
Somewhere
or beaches
secluded.
or whatever. Yeah. But I think we're meant to be on acres of land, but still be in a community, but have that open area for us. Where we care for our land.
We're supposed to be like ants.
Yeah. Ants are pretty compact, though.
Well, no, but they're a society creature. Like they depend on each other, and they explore. I've heard the analogy of humans are like ants a bunch of times.
In city life, I could see that. Yeah, when you look at some of these ant colonies, it's pretty cool to see some of the artwork that they do, where they pour the molten steel down into an ant, an abandoned ant farm, so to speak, and then they dig it out and pull it out. It's incredible.
Oh, I've seen
to
those.
see what
Yeah,
those
that's
guys
pretty
do.
cool.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So
did we have a word of the week?
We did.
I know we're getting close here.
Yeah, we this is a juicy episode, guys. We kind of knew it would be. Let's see. We got a word of the week, guys. Our submission this week comes from Denise down in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Thank you, Denise.
Yep, and
benevolent.
Benevolent is the word of the week, guys. Word of the week is benevolent, and I didn't know what it meant until I looked it up. Tammy, any guesses on what that word means?
What's a feeling?
It's an adjective, and yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Like you don't care? No, I don't know what that means.
I
I know the word though.
Yeah, I don't know what it means. I fortunately have it in front of me, Arthur.
So you'd be feeling benevolent.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could use it in a
That's
sentence.
how I would think.
Somebody
Yeah.
is expressing a benevolent smile.
So maybe it's like a pure. It's like it's almost holy, or like like a.
Yeah, I think you got it. I think you got it.
I was trying to come up with more words to say.
So benevolent is it's a well-meaning and kindly adjective.
Oh my goodness,
Okay.
I was going the other way.
So, yeah, I didn't know. I don't know what any of these words mean, Tammy. We get all these suggestions and submissions every week, and I have the ability to pull up Google here, and
Benevolent.
they explain to me what it is. So thank you, Denise, for your submission on the
Thank
word
you.
of the week. You guys know you can submit those weekly, as well as your Would You Rathers.
Absolutely.
But I'll tell you this, man, this has been a fun episode.
This was fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks
We
for
got kind
coming
of
back
deep
in.
there, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, but we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, totally stoked you were able to make it back. I know you just had surgery, 7 days ago?
Yeah, I did.
So we're honored with your presence.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
a lot of
Yeah.
fun. And we will be sure to include all of your stuff in the show notes below. So for you guys watching on YouTube, Tammy and Spirit Forest do a lot of amazing things. We're going to include all that down below. Any last minute plugs that you want to put out?
I have a website, spiritforestbear.com, and you can get to anything else from there. You can get to my Facebook. You can get to my Etsy account if you want to look at what my paintings look like and stuff like that. But yeah, you'll be seeing a lot of hiking videos coming up as I'm trying to get back in shape. We're going to be going snowshoeing too, so hope to see you guys on my channel.
Absolutely. We'll be there. We'll be tuning in. We're subscribed to you. A lot of great content, guys. So if you are watching, be sure to subscribe to the Spirit Forest YouTube channel. Follow on all social media platforms. Again, we'll make that easy with some of the links down below. And you guys know, you're the best listeners in the game. We love doing this with you weekly. We'll be back here next week for another great one. That's all I got, man.
Believe and achieve, everybody. Just like what Tammy was saying, like set small goals for yourselves. Just let's all do that tomorrow. Let's all just set one little small goal that we could totally accomplish within like 45 minutes max. Like, let's not give ourselves any hour and a half long goals now. Let's just start small and let's work up from there. But it's gonna feel good. I think I'm gonna sweep my whole apartment.
That's a good start, man. That's
There
a
you
good
go.
45-minute or less achievement. I like that. Believe and achieve it. I like to say own it, let it rip, tater chip. Once again, Tammy, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We love what you do, and you guys are going to have to do some binge watching on the Spirit Forest YouTube channel. A lot of great content over there. So y'all be good to yourselves. You deserve it, and we'll see you next week.